need to have a say about today's topic, which is Detty December. It was Nigeria first.
Okay.
If you know Nigerians, you know Nigerians party hard. And from December 11th to January 5th, Africans are going back home.
If you're an air hostess and you get...
You're racist.
No, wait.
You're racist.
When you
against
enter
your
those
own
planes,
people.
No, when you
if
enter
you
those
treated
planes,
us with kindness, we'll treat you back with kindness.
If you're...
Slavery took a lot out of us, right?
Yeah.
From on both sides. If you're gonna go to Nigeria or Ghana in December, making sure you're actively researching where you're going. To pick someone who was born and raised in LA and tell the person it's a black person that, oh, you really should go to Nigeria because that's where your ancestors were from, feels far-fetched. Welcome to Am I Too Loud, the podcast. Oh my gosh, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Am I Too Loud, the podcast with Sophie, aka the Odditty. First off the gate, I want to address a few things. One, I've been getting feedback about the set. Someone was like, oh, the chair looks a bit uncomfortable, Sophie, do you want to get like a sofa style chair? And I was like, no, because like I really wanted the director chair because I feel like my dream in the world is like to be a movie star and to be a director. So I feel like the director chair like encompasses like where I want to be in the future. Plus I feel like you wouldn't be able to see the background properly. You only see this glass if I like was sitting on anything lower. So that's one. Two, I got comments about like having the sign up instead of lower, but I feel like again, hanging something off my balcony it's just not feasible before we get a studio. And I just don't know what it is, but being an outdoor podcast just feels like a thing I want to do. Okay, I just love being outdoors. I love recording outside. I feel like I do all my content inside anyway, so this is like my only way. I'm sort of enjoying being outside, and I've been enjoying it so far. It might suck when it's wintertime and it's freezing, but for now, we're living our best life outdoors, living whatever. Anyways, wanted to get that out of the way before we get started. Also, you guys, we finally got monetized on YouTube. We got 4,000 watch hours. We've hit 50,000 views already across the YouTube channel for all the videos. I'm speaking in the future.
No, we'll be way past.
We'll be way past. I think so.
When this episode drops.
When this episode drops, I feel like we'll be like more.
100K.
100K views, you think?
I meant subscribers.
Oh, okay. Well,
if we don't have 100K subscribers,
y'all
need to subscribe.
Okay, y'all. Currently on YouTube, we have like 1,000 subscribers, so I don't know where the knowledge is dreaming to.
No.
We have 1,800.
And 48.
So we'll see. I'm filming this video or filming this podcast in October. So we're a bit like filming this early because I feel like this conversation is relevant in December, but I really wanted to talk about it anyways because I need to have a say about today's topic, which is Detty December, IGGB. I just got back. Ghana in December, Nigeria in December. The year of return, African Americans going back home to the continent. There's everything that has to do with the December holiday season in Africa. We're talking about it today. So y'all grab your popcorn, grab whatever you're drinking. I'm drinking some Red Bull. I have my trusty iPad here. Hopefully, by the time this episode drops, the new episodes are coming on. I've changed this damn iPad case so it has the podcast logo on it. We'll see. But yeah, we're about to get started. Let's do it. Detty December, y'all. If y'all don't know what Detty December is what we've sort of like named this trip, this mass exodus of Africans / people across the world when they go back to the continent. Honestly, Nigeria and Ghana tend to have like that. Well, it was honestly Nigeria first that have like the name like down pat. It was Nigeria first.
Okay.
Right, because I know like Mr. Easy, who's a huge like producer, creative, musician, artist, persona, everything, started like this Detty December party in Nigeria in about 2016.
In Ghana.
In Ghana.
Exactly.
In Ghana.
Okay, wait. So I have a video here.
Don't piss me off.
Wait. Oh no,
Easy.
actually, I just said that. It was a party in Lagos, but
Don't
Mr.
play
Easy
me.
was based in Ghana at the time.
Easy is Nigerian. He tries so hard to be. No, I'm just joking.
No, but he is Nigerian.
He is Nigerian. I know, but like he loves Ghana though.
Yeah, he
Mr.
does.
Easy loves
He
Ghana.
does.
We're not gonna fall.
He
But
does.
also Ghana is really cool. We're gonna get to that in a second. But to explain what we're talking about right now, thinking about like this is December. From what I know, Mr. Easy started it like a party in Lagos in 2016, right? And I know that because my first Detty December was 2018, and that was like the pinnacle of Detty December antics, right? So we're gonna give a backstory. This December, again, like I was saying, is this mass exodus of folks going back to the continent to basically party during Christmas. If you know Nigerians, let's talk about that subsex of people. If you know Nigerians party hard. Our weddings are lit. Like, you're partying Mondays, there's Obi's house on Mondays, okay? It's Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, yeah, even Sundays. Like, we party every day of the week. Maybe Tuesday is the day we rest. Because I feel like I don't really hear a lot of parties on Tuesday.
Nights?
No, it's Wednesday. Wednesday's ladies' nights.
Tuesday's the night for
resting.
The others, no.
No. I think Tuesday is like rest day. I don't think there's a party on Tuesdays in Nigeria. No, there might be, but you know, quote me on this.
Depends on if you party in church.
Either way, that's pretty much how it is. But especially from December like 11, 12 till January 4, 5, there's this like just going to the continent idea where we all just go home. The clubs are popping, there's beach parties, raves, like it just feels like fun culture. And it was a party culture that Mr. Easy started in 2016. Now, this December is taking on a mind of its own because the amount of people now who are interested in just the idea, like the advent of TikTok, Instagram, like so many people now talk about this in December, that it's become an actual thing. Like, folks do not go home unless it's December for the partying, the connections, the relationships. Like, there are businesses built around the idea. And from December 11th to January 5th, Africans are going back home. And now it's become like a thing, especially with West Africa. So Nigeria and Ghana. Ghana recently with Afrochella in Ghana and like just having these huge parties. It's become a huge thing that everybody doesn't want to miss out on. And because of that, my tickets that used to, because come here, Delta Airlines, United Airlines, Emirates, Qatar, all of you listening right now, because of this absolute nonsense, the absurdity of it all, I cannot go back to my own country without paying $6,000, cash money doilies, to go to my birthplace, birthright. Isn't that?
I can't afford to go back home.
I can't afford to go back home anymore. Imagine that. It drives me crazy, especially because if you think about it, these airlines don't even care about us. This is like such a sidebar. ADHD, folks. Let me just rant real quick. Because if we think about it, okay, let's do, honestly, pause. Because, first of all, it's not like you guys give us the fanciest planes. Let's talk about it. When we're going home in December, it's not like we get the fancy planes, because I have taken United, Delta, and Emirates. First of all, the flight from wherever I am to like Atlanta is chef's kiss. The air hostesses are nice. The folks, the pilots and the captains know what they're doing. It's not bumpy. I'm chilling. Let me hit the Atlanta airport. Let me get to the international terminal. Oh, the blacks are here. Okay.
The terminal changes.
It changes. Like, I'm telling you, we don't even have food. I'm telling you, the terminal to serve the Africans now. Don't shoot the messenger.
The passengers have to start serving their own food.
No, I'm telling you, the passengers.
And TBC is like, okay, let me put my stove.
Like, even it's different. Like, the AC is off. The AC in the terminal goes off. There's no ventilation. The chairs are raggedy. We're at the back. Okay, we're at the back. And these planes, you're giving me 1985 planes to fly on. Even first class is not the same. And then let's talk about the air hostesses. They're ready for war. Because they know Nigerians we can't be a lot. We can't be a lot. We can't be a lot. But now that's your job. The customer service is not there. They're giving you back to back. I've never seen, usually in like planes, you see like, oh, hello, ma'am, what do you need? We're so sorry about that, ma'am. Ma'am, please sit down.
No, but they have to bring people that are up to par, because if you're an air hostess and you get...
You're racist.
No, wait.
You're racist.
When you
against your own people.
No, when you
if you treated us with kindness, we'll treat you back with kindness. Yes.
If you're air hostess and
no,
you
because
enter a
Auntie
plane,
doesn't know what's happening.
and before the plane goes off, the first thing you hear is the Most High is Jesus. You need trained people for that.
Yeah, we also need culture, because like...
Yes.
Yeah, but they don't do that. They always just greet us with aggression, especially Delta Airlines. I love Delta. Shout out to you, sponsor me. Because, I'm telling you, so now that I have to pay $3,000 to $6,000 on the flight, I'm even taking a 1985 plane. How is that fair? To my motherland? To go to the home of my people?
It's
discrimination. Bad? I don't know. Do I know planes? I'm just ranting. Don't shoot the messenger. Anyways, flights now cost anywhere between $1,500 to $7,000. Honestly, $10,000 if you're going to first class or business class.
Right.
And it gets crazy, y'all, because everyone is going back home now, and the flight surge is insane. But also, that says a lot about the economic power and growth of like just having folks in the diaspora going back home for the continent. So let's get back to the conversation. Detty December, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Sorry, you had a video for me and I just went on a whole
No,
tangent.
the video was Mr. Easy. We cleared that already.
Okay.
But I think let's start from the perspective of like when we were living in Nigeria.
Okay.
And we had people coming, right? The IGGBs.
Yeah, but I think IGGBs was not a thing, I don't think, till 2018, 2019. I don't think, and don't shoot the messenger again.
Okay.
But I just got back, the idea wasn't a thing until Detty December began to happen. Like, when folks came back, it was just like, oh yeah, you come back from
what
Yankee.
year did Detty December actually start, right? Because that party happened in 2016.
But like 2016, I would say makes sense. Because I came to America in 2014. I wasn't itching to go back home until 2016, because 2016 summer was a madness. Like that's when
like music,
Whiskey, Malik Berry, that was huge.
Yeah.
Afrobeats was like, Afrobeats is like getting into its like rhythm. And so we had a lot of parties in December then. 2017, I was like, oh, I want to go home real bad, because like December is lit. Like December's always been lit because Africans, Christmas, religion, it was always a vibe. But 2018, yo.
But I feel like Detty December, like what it stands for, that thing already exists, right? So like the concerts, the Rhythm Unplugged.
Yeah, but I think it was made more expensive.
Would bring like A-list artists.
Yeah, but it was
into
way
Nigeria.
more expensive.
Yes, it was
and
accessible.
way more targeted to the people coming back home,
right? Versus
people already at home.
Okay.
Right. I think that's the shift that happened from like post-pandemic, anyways. Too. The idea that this December 1st was just like concerts already happened. Like Echo Hotel concerts with Wizkid and all those folks was already happening before, at that point. And then I think post-pandemic it shifted from, folks celebrating folks at home to Afrobeats to the world, come home, come enjoy. And then that Ghana year of return, especially around how Black people were treated during COVID here, I think pushed a lot of folks to start saying, yo, what is there for us back home? And I think that's why I also love, like, I see everybody talk about December in Africa. Like I was with a friend who is definitely not African, who was like, oh my God, I've heard December is like the best time to go home. And I'm like, yeah, it is. It might get crazy, but like that's really what the vibe is now. What?
You just paused.
Oh, I know you're looking at me like you have something to say.
That's what you're saying.
Oh, you just were looking so thoughtful.
Nice. Okay,
but
so
yeah.
What is the IGGB experience?
I think it's different because I feel like, first of all, IGGB means I just got back. The idea that you're an African who was left home and you're just coming back, right? So you have an accent. Usually, I think it was reserved for like the folks from the UK because they were the closest to going home. Like 6 hours is not bad. Is it 6 or 4 hours?
From the UK to
the UK to Nigeria.
6 hours.
6 hours, right? That's not bad. Compared to like the 9-hour direct flight that just started happening with the US, or even like the 15 to 35-hour thing that we have to deal with here. But the idea is like you're coming back home. I can identify you as an I just got back person because you have an accent.
So the first set of IGGBs were actually Nigerian born. There were people who were living in Nigeria. Mr. Easy, for example. People who were living in Nigeria who would go for school and they would always come back.
Yeah, but I feel like that's what we're saying the same thing.
No,
right?
I'm not saying, I'm not.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
I'm not trying to contrast.
You're right. That's true. Like
that's
that
like
really
the first
is it.
Phase.
Oh, you're saying like there's like dimensions, there's like levels to IGGBs. You're adding extra stuff to it, Donald.
I would have friends who would go to the UK for like a year or two for college and they'll come back with accent.
That's
true. And they're coming back with their friends.
That's true.
So that was like the first
so like
wave.
It feels like, I just got back feels like the idea of like, we know you're from here.
Yes.
But like this accent you're putting on is making you're trying to tell us or send us a message that I'm just visiting.
Exactly.
I gotta go back soon. I've left and I'm just coming back.
I just go back.
Yeah, I like that idea. But basically that's what it is. But I also think the IGGBs are very separate because they're Nigerian born, Ghanaian born. I honestly think it's more of like a Nigerian thing. So like maybe Nigerian born, but there's also like the subsect of people who are visiting, the tourists, right? Yes. Like folks who have no direct in the sense of like lineage and family being back home, who live somewhere else and want to visit just for the shenanigans of it all. And I think Ghana has done such a great job at having that full experience on lock. I think the difference between like a December in Nigeria and Ghana is so stark for me. Like I would never tell someone, don't shoot the messenger. I know y'all ninjas are gonna drag me for this. I would never tell someone who's never visited West Africa to do December in Nigeria first. I would say do Ghana first.
Why? Because of, so you're talking about the group of The person who wasn't born in Nigeria.
Who wasn't born in Nigeria. If you're a new person who's going and you're like, I've heard about December, where should I go first? I would always say Ghana first. Because Ghana has a lot more structure.
Ghana has that tourism.
Yeah, Ghana has the tourists going on. Like you land, you're going exactly to like hotels, there are beaches, there's direct access. It's not as chaotic as Nigeria. I think Nigeria is like, huh?
What are you trying to say?
Nigeria is like, Nigeria will punch you in the face. In the best way. I don't even
want to go back for Detty December in Nigeria.
Because it's a lot. Yeah, like Nigeria is, yeah, but there's also traffic in Ghana. I think the difference is like you have to be an experienced West African night to enjoy Nigeria properly, because you need to know the right people in Nigeria. Yeah. You need to know where to go, who's going to be there to support you and navigate it. Like there are people now who are trying to do like the full experience in Nigeria, but it's a lot easier to have that experience in a place like Ghana, Senegal, Cameroon, all these other places than Nigeria. Like I'm just me being very honest. Like if you don't know the layout, like the lay around of Nigeria, it's hard to enjoy a proper December. Especially if you don't know anything, you're starting from scratch.
Okay, paint this picture for me, because I feel like I'm understanding that we have a slight difference of what Detty December is, right?
Okay. So what is an ideal Detty December?
America more than me.
Yes.
Right?
I have?
Yes.
Oh, 10 years. How many years?
8 years.
Oh, period. Oh my God.
8 years, but like I was going back and forth to 2019.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So I feel like my experience is a little bit different. So tell me.
So let me tell you my first Detty December experience.
December in Nigeria.
So again, I'm one of the Nigerians born in Nigeria. I lived there my entire life till I was 16, 17, and I moved here to America. Yes. I stayed here for 4 years and I went back home. 2018 was the first time. My first Detty December was game nights, bars, like maybe like a beach house, beach front type of vibe. Very like you and your, not even Lashe yet. Okay. 2018 wasn't Lashe for me. I was a baby. Okay. Lashe was like the big dogs. You know what I mean? Like it was a lot of like game nights, like community. Like I'm finally home. I can't wait to see my friends. Let's plan stuff. It was a lot of drugs, alcohol, sex, weed. Like, it was a good time, mommy. I'm sorry. My mom didn't know any of that.
It's the reverse. You said drugs, alcohol, and the thing that you decided to be 18 plus, guys.
I know, right? I was like, I can't say X, but I can say everything else. But it pretty much was that for me. And it was a concert, going to concert, meeting different people. It wasn't as packed as it is right now, but it was more like the underground things that would happen was what made December special then. And the exodus of like the Igbos in Nigeria would go home, like go to the village from like the 25th to the 29th. And so like the roads are clear and then like you're waiting for them to come back so the party continues to start. Like everybody had like an idea of what happened. Like 11th to 18th was like concerts. 19th was like beach parties and like Christmas prep and all that stuff. Igbos go to the village. Nigeria is boring. Folks will go to Ghana for that time if they're going to Ghana, come back. Like that was the vibe. And then 2019 was pretty much similar, but people started hearing some more about it, so they came back. Concerts became a huge thing. The pandemic hit, and 2021 was like boom, like restaurants, tours, like Nikkei Art Gallery. Like there was not like pinpoints of like what an ideal December checklist would look like. So that was like going to Nikkei Art Gallery, going to the art and culture market, the Terra Culture Market or something like that. You would go to Lashe Beach, do a beach party day. You go to like Zaza, the clubs, the lounges. You do all these things, and then you also have parties with your friends. And you're gonna stay at the club. Like you're going to like 5 clubs in one night, and getting out of the club at like 9 a.m. Makeup still intact, shoes still on. You're going to like grab some like suya from outside from the Malam, and you've had a great party. And you're doing that every single day till the end of December into January, and that's December.
Okay, so that's your experience.
What is your experience?
It's interesting because I think that experience you just explained is like everyday living in Lagos.
Yes.
Right? It's the beach parties.
It's amplified though when it's in December.
Not necessarily.
It is. It's
No, it's
not. If I want to go now, if I want to go to Obi's house on a Monday in October, it's not as crazy. It's still packed. Right. It's a vibe. But the traffic is not down all the way.
Oh yeah, obviously.
That's what I mean. Like no, like the traffic, the people, like you're not getting 500 people trying to get somewhere. You're maybe getting 200.
Yeah, it's not going to be as.
And it's not even as expensive.
True.
Yeah, like it's just. I think the market now is because there's so many people who are interested in the December experience. It's a lot more things happening. They're doubling down. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say I wanted to go back.
Yeah.
To Africa, right? That's December. So Nigeria, Ghana.
Yeah.
What should I do first?
Oh my God, that's such an interesting question. Okay. First buy a ticket early on. If you're a first timer, early like May, June.
Okay.
April, May, June is like an ideal time to get tickets. Tickets are gonna range from $1,000 to about $2,500. If you've never gone to the continent or like to West Africa, I always say Ghana is always like the quickest, safest bet. I always say Ghana is like the safest, quickest bet because Ghana usually has like set things to do, has a lot more tourism behind it. If you feel like you're a solo traveler, doing travel groups is always like really, really like suggested. I know my friend Any Given Sunday on TikTok. I'm gonna try to like link her stuff or show a TikTok of her here. She does a great job of like breaking out the travel groups she goes with. If not, if you want to dive straight in and just go straight into it, then you can do Nigeria in December. And the same thing, like if you're a solo traveler, try to get a friend, try to get a group, try to get someone if you've never been to Nigeria, so at least help you through the process. So buy a ticket in like April, May, June. You're now in Ghana, you have your travel group, you're set. They usually will do itineraries for you. If you are alone or you have your friends and you're ready to do it, plan like a good range of activities to do. Like, why are you looking at
alone?
Yeah.
I'll say if you're alone, don't go.
Really?
To Ghana or to Nigeria?
Both. I think you can still survive as a solo traveler in Nigeria because you're gonna make friends. Now it might be an interesting
in Ghana, yes.
It might be an interesting experience.
In Nigeria?
Yeah, I think it's a vibe.
Honestly, I would say
you just have to learn.
You learn yes quick. Or no, right? Because
if you can survive New York City alone, you can survive Lagos.
I have a lot of white friends who like I talk to and they're like, oh my god, I lived in Surulere and I was in Lagos doing this.
Yeah, but they're
NGO
white.
thing.
It's different. It's a different experience if you're white. Africa is a whole different experience if you're white. Let's not get into that conversation now, Donald. Don't get me in trouble.
No. What I just heard, I'm like, that's not wrong.
It's not wrong. It's absolutely factual.
You're probably safer.
Absolutely. You're 20 times safer if you're a
People
white
will help
person.
you out more.
They'll be excited to help you out if you're a white person.
They will make sure.
If you're listening to this and you're white,
the way he rode the
bike and across the Africa,
her experience is crazy.
Crazy, beautiful. According to my friend who did the Peugeot Drive,
what was her experience like?
Crazy. She was, every turn she was stopped, always harassed. She was so many things. Like, to even travel across Africa as a black person is unfortunately a problem. Let's not get into that.
Okay, so
I know, right?
You're black going.
Yes.
Solo traveler.
Yes.
What should I do?
I said go to Ghana and go through a travel. I can't speak. Go to Ghana and go through a travel group first.
Okay.
And then Nigeria could be the second or third year. So I feel like once you could survive Ghana, Nigeria is like not going to be a piece of cake, but Nigeria is an even better experience and a lot more like pumped up experience. Nigeria is, I like to say like Nigeria is like New York City on crack. Like that's like because I love New York because it reminds me so much of Lagos, Nigeria. Like in the way New York like is something going on. Like I'm doing my podcast on my balcony right now and the noises are constant. Yeah. The honking, the helicopters flying. Well, not a lot of helicopters, but like the helicopters flying, the folks yelling, cursing, like that is Lagos. And then imagine Lagos with an additional, I actually wonder how many people actually travel back home. I wonder if there's a census for that. I wish they actually did some, like 1 million maybe? Is that overstating it? I'm not sure. Okay, so it says the number of people who go to Nigeria for this December is typically more than 80,000 people. In 2019, about 1 million people visited Nigeria, which was a 45% increase from previous year. It has to be more than 1 million now.
It just has to be more than 1 million.
Because it has to be more.
Yeah, because remember, right? Like it's not just people from the US.
Yeah.
It's people from the UK.
Yeah.
People from New Zealand, Australia. Like Nigerians are Africans are everywhere. Yeah. Let's back to your experience.
Okay.
What are some of the fun things? Like tell me like some stories.
Oh my god, okay, yo, let me tell you the story about like this December. If you're like thinking about like this December, I'm not gonna give you all years, but it was a pre-pandemic Detty December. Maybe it was post actually. But like some of the experiences from this December from my end was there was a time that this was as a girl, there's some privileges that I have. And one of the craziest things that has happened to me was there was so me and this friend, we planned a December together, right? It was just both of us. We didn't want to stay with family, so we had this guy paid for us to live in this place called Eco Atlantic. Eco Atlantic is like this really nice beachfront, sort of like waterfront area in Lekki, Phase 1. I'm wrong.
It's where Bar Beach used to be.
Victoria Island. And so he paid for us to stay in this like really, really nice like 3-bedroom house. We had his like card, like his credit card, and our entire trip was just on his card. And literally he will come into the room. Y'all are getting to know me a lot, but we'll literally like he will give us his card. And I'm telling you, like, nothing was exchanged. Like no bodily fluids were exchanged or anything. It was simply just we have his card. Just why your face like that?
What does that mean?
Like we didn't have sex.
Yeah, but how you exchanging bodily fluids?
I should not be teaching you anatomy and biology, Donald.
No. How? Explain to me.
Bodily fluids. Yeah, like kissing.
Oh.
Okay, okay. Moving on. But it was literally just like that. And I feel like a lot of women like experience that in December. If you're going home, if you're at the club, like you're getting bottles, you're getting money spent on you. Like there was one time at the club, the friends I was with, I think our bill then was about 20 million naira, and that was just like, that was the first club of the night where we're like, oh, we're just pre-gaming, it's pretty chill. That's how much they're spending. And that was nothing from my pocket. It's just me to look pretty and just be chilling. That's literally what the December experience is. Oh, you smile it. It could never be you.
If anything, I'm at the other side. Not
You
do
are,
20 million.
You will definitely do 20 million. It's pressure. I'm telling you, when your mates are over there popping bottles, what are you going to do? Look?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'll sit in the corner and not pop bottles. Well, okay. So how does someone find a rich...
They're everywhere. It's Lagos.
Yeah, but tell us though. Give us the tea. I'm sure we all want to know. Because like nobody wants to go, especially for the girls, right? It's like y'all don't want to go to Nigeria and like not... and spend your own money.
No,
like,
but I also feel like it's weird for me to be the one saying this because you guys, I'm also trying to be like a great role model, right? To the people who are listening to me right now. I don't want them to think it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing. I think maybe it's just choices.
Isn't that good financial advice? Save your money, don't spend your money, spend another person's money.
Because you know what's crazy about it is like the way I am, I tend to not let other people spend money on me. Like even that, like me saying like, oh, my friends are with me. It was more so like, well, you guys are spending all this money. I'm not really drinking, so you can enjoy it. But for the most part, I'm usually, let me give you this story. Okay, ADHD is such a bastard. So Joyce came to visit New York, right? And we went to this really, really popular restaurant in New York City. I'm not gonna name names, but it's a Nigerian restaurant. We're partying, we're having fun. And like, it's about to be done. And like, we both get up to leave. And then Joyce is like, I'm like pulling out my card and Joyce looks at me and said, what are you doing? I said, oh, I'm paying. She said, for what? I said, for the food and the drinks we did. She said, like, why? Like, didn't you just say hello to like the owners and like this guy and the bar and this and that, all these people? I was like, yeah, but I tend to always like pay my bills, especially in America. Like it's different here. Like men are not going to see you, even though they kiki and say hi to you and they respect all that stuff. They're not going to pay your bills for the most part. In New York that I know of, they tend to not pay those bills. And I just do it because I'm also like, I got it, I'm gonna spend it anyways. And she looked at me like I was crazy. She was like, girl, I will whoop your ass. Put that freaking card down, let him come here because you're posting for them, you're doing all these things. It makes no sense that you're going to have to pay the bill. In Nigeria, if I went out, I would never even reach for my pocket. Like I would never reach for my card because I know somebody's gonna pay for it. Now, I don't know if that's a bad or a good thing. I just know that there was one time I did that with a Nigerian man and he got so insulted at the fact that I reached out for my card to pay the bill. He was like, never do that again. That's just disrespectful to me.
The Nigerian man you were talking to?
No, just a friend. Like
Is he
not
rich?
even, no, he was just normal. Like he was a normal guy. He just, I think it's for a lot of like, the fun part of December is like, African men also tend to be like providers, right? That's like, we can unpack what masculinity and how that affects their marriages and their lives and but for the most part, they're raised to be financial providers, which I hope they also will use that money to start investing in therapy and emotional awareness and intelligence, but they don't tend to do that.
That's a crazy pivot, bro. No, because...
It's true. Do not shoot the messenger. I'm serious. That's really what it is.
When the IGGBs will come back to Nigeria,
yeah,
that was the most exciting time for me.
Why?
Because I've worked all year.
Y'all don't like white people. That's why.
No. I'm talking about like the UK, like, you know.
They don't always aspire to be nothing other than non-Nigerian.
That's not true. With the, what do you call them? It's like,
Hi,
are we going to 57 or Escape, you know? Oh, I'm going with my friends to Queen. You know?
Yeah.
We
We used to have a
room.
time.
We'll go smoke shisha.
Yeah, shisha. I don't think that's what they sounded like.
But
that's true though. That's usually what the vibe is, right? It's like I miss it. I miss. And I'm not going to Nigeria this year. I'm going to be in Ghana because I've never been to Ghana. This is my first time going to Ghana. I'm really excited about it. So if you see me in Ghana, say hi, y'all. I'm really excited to finally experience Ghana because I've done the Nigerian thing and it's always just so overwhelming for me because I know how home is without everybody like there. So I prefer home when it feels like home. Like July is my good time to go home, relax, like meet people, see family, not be in traffic for 6 hours in a day, like actually have a good time. And I'll probably go back to Nigeria probably next year is the goal. But I think for this year, definitely just going to do Ghana.
You sure you won't be in Nigeria?
Everybody says that. Everybody's asked me that. Everyone's like, are you sure? Like,
because like I can't.
I know you. I can't imagine you being right there in Ghana and now you're just going.
It's like
honestly, that's not the plan. That's not the plan.
And that's the thing. Is like if you go to Ghana and you feel like you're bold enough to go to Nigeria,
then you should have going. Yeah, but I'm like, I'm making so much money about not going to Nigeria this year that I'm like, if I go, everyone's gonna laugh at me and be like, Sophie, you said you were not gonna go.
Why don't you want to go to Nigeria?
Because it's a lot more chaotic. I'm not gonna do like if I'm in Nigeria for December, I know I am going to the beach, to restaurants, to clubs. Yeah.
You make it sound like it's not fun.
I've done that every year for the past 4 or 5 years.
Ghana, what are you gonna do?
Same, but it's a different experience because I'm not from Ghana. I've never been to Ghana, so I get to see the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial.
That's
the Gold Star.
You've never been to Ghana.
I've never been to Ghana, so it's an experience in itself to go to Ghana and see what Ghana is. Like I've never gone to Ghana at all. Like I haven't traveled to besides Togo and Benin. Is this the same place?
Yeah, it's separate.
They're separate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, besides Togo and Benin.
So you go from like Nigeria into Benin Republic.
Yes.
Togo.
Yes.
And then you get to Ghana.
Okay, see, I've never gone past.
You've never gone past.
Yeah,
Benin.
Togo.
Togo.
I've never gone past any of that. Either way, I've not gone past it. No.
That's actually interesting.
So that's interesting. Like I'm excited to go to Ghana. I have someone special in Ghana that I want to really see too. So like I'm excited.
So I'll play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
I think if people want to go, they need to go to Nigeria first.
Why?
Because like, Nigeria is just like, it's the place. That's the vibe. From people's experience,
I think Nigeria
I've been to Ghana
Nigeria can
times.
be overwhelming.
It can.
Nigeria is overwhelming.
It can, but like, the thing with Nigeria is like, there are always activities. Like Nigeria is genuinely just
push it
fun.
back. That's if you know the right people.
Ghana just has
if you know the right people.
Publicity.
I'm telling you, Ghana has structure. Wallahi, Ghana has structure. Like think about it. Even from like the last time I went home, I ended up getting an Airbnb somewhere like Lekki Phase 1, and my Airbnb didn't have clean water. And I remember asking like, what's going on? Like, and this is someone who used to live back home, right? Mm-hmm. Like I was gonna like, Lekki water is bad. Like you have to just like use, you go and order water and it'll come or something like that. Imagine that from someone who's never been back home.
Ghana water is also bad.
That's manager. No, now you two know.
No,
you two know that doing playing devil's advocate is a lie. Don't even say that. Let me know. My shift at 4 now. This is the devil's advocate is not true.
I'm okay. Devil's advocate off.
Okay.
Right? Because she went schooled in Ghana.
Okay.
The Ghana of now, like this like post-pandemic Ghana.
Okay, so let me say this.
Okay.
I am not saying Ghana is better in any regard around like provision and stuff like that. I just say Ghana presents this idea of tourist structure.
Yes.
So you land at the airport, you have people that probably greet you with your group. You have like tours that you're going to go to take photos at the Gold Star, at the this and that. You probably go for Afro Nation or Afrochella. You probably go to the Mr. Easy's party. You probably go to Zumaland. Like there are festivals you're going to plan to go to that have like the structure of where you would be. There's like excursions. There's certain things and checks that you do that feels a lot more controlled than the Nigerian perspective. Now, I'm not saying that can be happening in Nigeria. But I'm saying that there is less opportunities for travel groups like that to create that similar experience in Nigeria. But, like if you're in Nigeria and you land at Murtala Mohammed Airport.
No, that's what I was going to say, because you land at Murtala Mohammed.
Chaos.
But like I think I see
like
your point.
even getting to the
Ghana is small.
Yeah.
And for the most part, when I think Ghana, I'm thinking
Accra.
I'm thinking Kumasi, I'm thinking Tema.
Like there's
because
so
I've gone
many.
to all these places. But once you get to Accra, it's like all those things are curated.
Yes.
Like the whole slavery thing, right?
Yeah.
If you wanted to visit that in Nigeria, you have to go 7 hours to Badagry. I see what you mean.
Like even going to like Ekpe, doing all like this, going to Olumo Rock, like
right. It's like Ogun State.
It's Ogun State, like
it's so far.
And folks just know Lagos, right? And if we're like, what are the things in Lagos that people are gonna want to sightsee? Nikkei Art Gallery.
It's so funny that you say that. Because
What
that
else?
place is the most like
tiny.
It's just like it's like it's fun. Like it has always existed.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like. And I always like see a lot of folks who are like, what else to do back home?
There's something else.
What is?
The Onikom Museum. So Onikom Museum in around Ikoyi.
That's good.
That's where Muritala Mohammed, the president that was assassinated.
You know what I push for? I wish that we actually, I don't know what the problem is. I wish there was a lot more of intention around tourism in Nigeria.
That's what I'm saying.
Because the opportunity is endless.
Right, because like, I think because like, I grew up in like that island area. All those things.
Belching so much. It's so bad. I'm so sorry, you guys.
I think that's what it is because I grew up in that island area.
And also think about it, right? Mainland versus island. How many people who even come to visit Nigeria will go to the mainland?
No, they won't because like
they'll literally just go from the airport. They'll just pass straight. And every time you don't look outside the window, just go straight to.
Yeah, Tottenham is just like
that's it.
And most planes in Nigeria, like that come from America, land in the night.
That's it. So you're not even looking at anything.
Yeah, so you can't see anything. And for the most part, there's no light.
Exactly. So I think it's interesting when you navigate that in that way. But also, again, just going back to the fact that Delta, United, Emirates, count your fucking days. Because it's too expensive still.
Right.
Okay, just random.
Let's do something.
Okay.
If you want to go to Nigeria.
Okay.
These are the places that you should go to.
You can't tell me that on the spot. Now I got to search for stuff.
No, you know stuff.
Honestly, if you're going to go to Nigeria, I feel like I wish more people went to like an Abuja, like went to Lagos, went to Olumoro in Ogun State, went to like the surrounding areas that's not just Lagos, went to the mainland. Like, I wish there was more intention around visiting Nigeria as a whole. I think for me, it's really cool because the love for going back home, especially around December, is the fact that like the community, especially from the diaspora, is so beautiful to see. Like, I grew up in a time where being African was not the most popular thing. Right? It was just like, you hear this words about African booty scratcher, don't go back home. People didn't want to like say their parents were African. And the fact that like so many people now are so excited to go back home to experience, even if it's just the party, the music, the fun, I love that. And I envy the fact that Nigeria didn't hop on the year of return trend a lot more than Ghana did, because I love the pull of bringing in African Americans into the conversation, right? Just not the diaspora, but everyone else. How are we able to like see like, hey, this is a signal to everyone out there who might be interested in coming home. Are you about to play me something?
Yeah.
Okay.
2019, what country launched the Year of Return, a birthright journey for African descendants? Nigeria. No? I was wrong? Yeah, Ghana.
I love that so much. Well, you see, pause. I'm so curious if you're Ghanaian listening to this or you have any knowledge of this, please comment why, first of all, what or who is the royal in that situation? Like, who is the person? Because like the idea of like the year of return, who is the royal that they're going to see? Because I imagine if we're trying to do a year of return in Nigeria, what tribe is greeting them when they come to Lagos, right? Like, what is that? Because you see where the tourist grab is, like the kente cloth, the going to the king, the this, the that. Like, I don't want to say the facade. Maybe that's not the right word. Like the packaging, right, is very interesting. I wonder what kind of packaging we can attribute for like Nigeria. Like when they land, is it going to be like Elegushi, right? Elegushi is like a king, King Elegushi, and like on the island in Nigeria, or is it going to be like, you know what I mean? Like who is going to be the king? Who's going to be receiving these people? What does that look like?
Everything.
I doubt that.
But that's why it's hard. Feel like
it's going to be impossible to do something like that.
Oh, you mean like in one event?
Yeah.
But that's difficult, because
but that's what I'm saying. That's why Ghana. I think that's why Ghana is able to do the tourist thing really well, right? Because I don't know who the king is. I don't know even how Ghanaians receive the idea of like, you know, they're coming home, the year of return. But I love it, and I think this is my call to like African Americans, Black folks who are listening to this episode who are interested in Detty December. I think there's a beauty and connectivity of going back to Africa in some capacity. I hate the disconnect that oftentimes happen with our people. And I would love for folks like that to just have the experience of it all. Like, slavery took a lot out of us, right?
Yeah.
From on both sides. And I think it's beautiful to see that like line that Ghana drew to say, hey, like, we're here, come home, enjoy it, have fun, have a good time. And I also love that I see TikTok too saying like, hey, come back, come visit, go anywhere around the world and just have fun with it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think education is also at the core of it, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Like, you just need to learn, because like, that's one thing I love. I've assimilated so much in America, right? We came here and we learned a lot of things.
Yeah.
And like, if you go to Nigeria, you go to Ghana, you go to all these different African countries,
you learn a lot about the people who live there.
Like, they don't even know
Africa is a country.
Is. Exactly, right? Like,
they think Africa is a country.
Because you're talking about like the Obas and like the Ayo festival, like.
Oh,
and these are things that are not just happening during Detty December too, right?
But those are things that don't even happen. You know what I mean? Like, someone needs to package, right? We need to work on packaging.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a Nigerian, listen to this. Let's work on packaging. Let's do like the Oju de Oba. It's not even Lagos, it's Ogun State. Right. Or is it Ondo? You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. I wish we had more of that to bring in the storytelling that we really, really wanted to share. But I'm also really excited. I think Detty December is a way for Black folks around the world to just simply enjoy life on the continent and see that like we can live it up, okay? Like, Africans can party hard, and I think that's the beauty of it too. Is like, when we're going out, you're not asking if you're listening to the music, you're just listening to music and you're vibing out. You're not necessarily thinking of where you come from. You're just literally home with people who look like you and you're having a good time doing it.
Black people come to Ghana, you're welcome, you're the return or beyond return.
Yeah.
But once we get here, there's no soft landing for us. There's no resources. There's no help. The Office of Diaspora Affairs certainly doesn't do anything to help us. No. Yeah, they're not ready. And even as far as like infrastructure wise, like, why y'all want us to come put more bodies on these roads that are already, so it was like, no. But I think many of us who are here to help contribute to, I speak for myself, to contribute to the improvement and the development of this country. So I'm committed. I'm here and I'm committed to being a part of the change I want to see, and that's it. But no, they weren't ready. I don't even think they understood what it meant to even tell us to come back here, but we're here.
Connected Minds Podcast.
I want to get your thoughts. The comments.
I want to see comments. I want to see comments. Okay. I have so much to say about that video. I'm trying to first not say my first thought, which was, there is a certain level of entitlement, right, that comes with living in America. And I say that as someone who was born back home and who lives here now. I even see it in myself too, right? Because I think when you see what looks like structure, right, you perceive that as how everywhere in the world is. And I think from her conversation, her expectation of going back to like Ghana or going back to Africa and saying they're not ready for you is the idea that when you get there, you're going to get a rosy landing. Like, you're going to get the 5-star hotels, you're going to get the 5-star treatment, you're going to get all these things, which even if you were an African coming to America, it's still the exact same thing you're going to get treated with. Like, you're still going to come here. Like, if I landed in New York at JFK airport is crazy. Like, I'm like, is this really the America that's not what I was told, right? You're still gonna, if you went to West Virginia, if you went to Detroit, if you went to Alabama, I sometimes look around America and go, is this the America I was promised? Because that's not New York, right? Because there are also pockets like that in everywhere in the world that does not have structure. So I get frustrated when I hear sentiments like that because it's simply not true. However, it's also like a symptom of being in a third world country. Like, it's a third world country for a reason, right? Like, there's infrastructure issues that are gonna always happen. And I like-ish that she ended the conversation with, I am here to help. But I saw another TikTok, I don't know if you have it here, where there was a sentiment from someone who was basically saying, we need to go there, we need to fix their roads for them, and then they can assist us in like continuing on the work. And for me, I hated the otherism that was happening, right? The idea that this is like an other group of people who need help and like they're subservient to who we are. And again, I think that's where the entitlement comes from. What are your thoughts on it?
I don't understand what resources she thinks she's pouring into the place, right?
Yeah.
And also, right, like, you're seeing, it's called a developing country for a reason, right? And they're making steps like, imagine she's going to Ghana.
Yeah.
And that's her take.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine if she came to Nigeria.
What that take would look like. I know, I think I get so frustrated, and I think I'm saying this as someone who lives both, like, I live in a really nice fucking apartment in New York. I'm living my dream life. And when I go back home, like, my life is not the same, right? But there's certain luxuries that I have back home that I would never have here, right? Like,
Context,
that's just like, that's just life, right? And that's just what life back home is. There's so much nuance between the Black existence in America versus like being African, and I always see that, and that's why I always preach about bridging the gap in some capacity, because I really think, I wish we saw each other more as partners in this rather than like folks who are constantly butting heads, because even conversation and rhetoric like this is unfortunate, right? Because we're comparing the experience to a country that's been around for 400 years, who went through slavery, who went through different wars, who is like at the forefront, this is America, at the forefront of all these technological advancements, who is taking the brains and the power from the continent to their country to then use it and take advantage of it. So we're left with nothing. That's what the story is in Africa. That's why we're using the nothing that we're left with to create the incredible life that we have for ourselves. And I wish we all understood that thinking, because I think it would shape our perspectives a lot differently.
Right.
I think that's where my frustrations lie. But also, that also comes with a lot of empathy from both sides, right? Like, if you're an African, listen to this. It's like, it makes sense if I'm used to a certain lifestyle in America to want to go to Ghana and think, oh, I don't know what to expect, but here it is, right? And then you see, of course it's not going to be a soft landing.
But she also talked about, like, infrastructure, right?
Yeah, because it's true.
But, like, I don't remember the last time I went to Ghana.
Yeah.
Ghana has one of the best airports in Africa.
Compared to here, from someone who's never been to Ghana.
Right.
Right. For them, it's gonna be, oh, it's not gonna be the same. Like the roads, like all that stuff. Yeah, it makes sense. Like, we're not gonna lie and say it doesn't make sense.
The roads in Ghana are good.
Not that everywhere is not gonna be perfect.
Unless she went to Tema.
No, that's not true. I'd be on the phone with
Accra.
someone in Ghana and like, the road is always shaking. Yes, in Accra.
Where are they gonna do?
I don't know. But the road is always shaking. My thing with that is I want us to understand that it's a different vibe.
Right.
Right? Like, we should not lie. Like, if I ever went to Bali, for example, right? I'm not expecting a New York level of anything in Bali. If I went to Mexico, I'm not expecting a New York level. Like, I'm not going to expect certain things because I know what I'm expecting. I think we as travelers and as people just need to understand researching more about what you're going to.
Right.
Because I guess what I keep saying, like, here, I'm like, oh, if you're going to go to Nigeria or Ghana in December, making sure you're actively researching where you're going. How do Nigerians engage when you get to the airport? Who's going to greet you there? You know, the folks are going to want to ask you for money. Yeah, at the airport. That alone is a crazy, even me, who's from home, I get to the airport and I'm sweating because I know I'm about to face a fight. But I think that's the beauty of like living back home. Like that's your people. That's the fun of it. Right? I think there's like quirks is what I like to say of like being Nigerian or being Ghanaian and like experiencing life in that way. And I wish we had more empathy around those situations. I don't think we do.
I think educate yourself so you're not shocked.
Yeah, because if someone says, as the foreigner don't stay in the city of Ghana, you regret staying in the village, you feel happy and comfortable. Okay, first of all, no.
No. That's actually because
because then that's perpetuating the idea of like Africa is all villages, right? Because if you're saying, oh,
no, that's not how I read that.
No, I read that as like don't stay in the city of Ghana, you regret it. In the village, you'll be more comfortable and happy because like you're just gonna be chill. Because like you're selling the idea of like, because if you think about it from a tourist perspective, or when you hear Africa, you're thinking, oh, I'm ready to like, safari it up, right? I'm gonna be in the safari.
I see what you're saying.
Because I think about it from a soft landing perspective.
You read that from that perspective.
Yeah,
right? Because
that's what I get when people think Africa. And so when they come to a place like Nigeria or Ghana, and there is infrastructure, it just might not be like up to par with what an American infrastructure looks like. Which again, I might argue that down. Because besides the airport chaos and maybe better roads, there's some roads in front of my house in New York that are trash. Like, there are potholes there.
Right. I think what I understand from that comment is, because if you go to places like Kumasi, right, the people are undiluted, right? They do.
But that's also perpetuating the idea of, like, what Africans are.
But that's the thing, because, like, in places like Accra, right, there's a lot of modernization happening without, like, proper training. So it's very like
it's dicey.
hit or miss.
Absolutely,
right?
but who decides what hit or misses? I think that's just the quirk of living there.
You think so?
It's growing pains. Let me just
Okay.
be devil advocate. It's growing pains. I think it's ridiculous to expect countries who are 40 to 60 years old to have
Right.
incredible things already done, like to have these amazing technological advancements in their economy and infrastructure
Like
and all that stuff.
hospitality.
That's like, especially countries who were not even, it wasn't even their choice to be countries. Like, we're navigating so much anyways as Africans in that space, right? Like, the dichotomy or like duality of being like living in Lagos versus living in Abuja versus living in Ondo and Kwara, like there's so much already that you're navigating as being African in general that you're not even, I don't even want to add onto that. Like,
Okay,
we're going
devil's
step by
advocate
step.
here.
Okay, what are you about to say?
What about ownership?
What do you mean?
Because you just said like, you talked about didn't even want to be countries, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk ownership.
Okay.
What are the people, like the government, the tourists, right? If you want to invite people to say, hey, come to my country,
Yes.
right? Make the experience at the airport better.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but also like, you know, yeah, corruption. Yeah.
Yeah, make the experience better.
Of course.
Because like
again, corruption.
the reason why like I know I can go to Nigeria easily, I don't even think about it. My dad works at the airport. It's like it's easy.
I just know I'll pay someone that will be fine.
Exactly.
Come and pick me up right from the flight.
Are we
Not
part
everybody
of
can
the
do that.
system?
Absolutely.
So we should stop. We shouldn't pay anybody.
No. No. I like my peace of mind. I think that's, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Because even, I think there's a beauty in living like that. Right? I feel like, what?
So Ghana was the first sub-Saharan African country to gain independence?
In 1957, yeah.
Before Nigeria?
Yeah.
So they have the lead on us. That's why they're better.
It's 3 years. Don't piss me off.
They have 3 years.
Don't piss me, but also
Go to
like,
Ghana, guys.
but also the, like, we're not even going to start. We're not even going to get into
Go
that.
to Ghana.
We're not going to get into that.
Give us 3 years. Give us in 20.
They've given us 3 years a long time ago. Don't let.
2027.
Please. Y'all, we've never actually shot this late at night, and I really like this vibe of the
Because it's
podcast
Detty
late
December.
at night. So, like, this is a vibe. This gives me, like, Detty December energy. I'm like, what? If you're watching, if you're listening on Spotify, jump on YouTube to see what I'm talking about. But basically, since I film on my balcony, we tend to film really early during the day. But now it's, like, nighttime. The lights are coming on in the city. It feels very vibey. The breeze is cool and chill. Like, I really like this. We should start filming at night. I think it's, like, really cute. Anyways, as we were saying, oh God, Donald has a comment for me. They've been living in America since their birth, and America has never been ready for Black people. They have no rights, no respect, no help. They treat us as second class and they want us. What? What's this basically saying? What's it saying? I don't get it. What is it saying?
He's saying that they need us. That's what he meant.
Who needs us?
Like the people in the diaspora.
I wouldn't say there's need. I would push back on that sentiment and say
there's an emptiness, right? There's a reason why people want to come
emptiness
back.
is like a weird way to put it. I wouldn't say empty. Let me tell you what I think. I aspire, or I hope for a time where if you have the same color as my skin, or like you're Black essentially, and that's like a broad term, that we don't see each other as competition, but more in community. Right. But I think life has happened so harshly to us in different ways that to even break that will be a lot. Like, I think about it even from like the beef between Ghana and Nigeria, Nigerians and South Africans, Tanzanians and Nigerians. Like, there's a lot underneath that we're even dealing with that I can't even want to unpack. But let's go back to like African Americans versus Nigerians, or like versus Africans in the first place. And this discourse is always happening. This idea like we need to build a bridge between the two. I think the bridge is already there. I think the choice is on both sides to choose to climb across. Right. And I think my hope is that we're going to just keep that bridge there. And as time goes on, we'll continue to see that sort of like crossing continue to happen. And I think this December is a beautiful time. Was a beautiful way for us to like get that connection. Afrobeats being so huge is a huge way to start bridging that gap some more. But I also like will always say like empathy. Empathy is always what I think we need best. You have a thought?
No, I agree. I was going to talk about like even artists have started to do concerts, right? It's like Chris Brown he has the concerts in South Africa.
Yeah.
You know, I think more things like that would help, because it's exciting, right? I feel like there's so much. I wish, you know, people in the diaspora could understand a lot more about Africa, because
I think, but It's also if they don't. I wish they did.
It's not though. You know why? Because I
Why?
think the freedom,
Yeah.
right? Pride, strength, all these things comes from education.
So are you?
And-
So, can you argue, devil's advocate here? Can you argue then that Jamaicans should also learn a lot about Africa?
I agree. Yes.
But the argument is not as strong
It's
because
not.
Jamaicans wouldn't want to. I wouldn't say, maybe I shouldn't say they wouldn't want
Right,
to.
right.
But there's a difference there, right? I think we underestimate and we try to water down the Black American experience, like the
I'm not-
culture. Not you. I'm saying like
I hear what
society,
you're saying,
like
yeah,
America
yeah.
does that, where we water down the culture and say there is no culture there, so they need to
Right.
connect to back home. We say
Right.
the same thing for Black America and Black UK folks, right? Where it's like, oh, you don't have culture, so you should go back home. I don't think that's true. I think the Black experience in America has uniquely become the Black experience. It's varied, but America is
yes,
huge. So
yes.
even like the white experience in America is varied too. Like if you're from the South, being raised white Southern is very different from how your Black Southerns are raised. Black folks from LA versus white folks from LA.
Is that right?
Like there's a difference in how you were raised across, because America is a huge melting pot. I get that. I hate that this rhetoric of, oh, because there's no culture here, you need to go back. I think that's where the button heads comes in, because what
Right.
you're telling people is you don't have a culture, so come get our culture. But there is no connectivity there,
Right.
But there should be an interest, and not necessarily interest of this is where I was from, with my great great grandfather and great great
Yeah,
great
it's
great
just like
great.
the interest should exist.
But why?
But
It
that's what
doesn't
I'm
have
saying.
to be.
It doesn't have to.
I-
But I personally, this is not, and this might be me projecting on other
Yes.
people. Living in the world
Yes.
and not understanding like global culture. This is not
Yeah,
African
but
thing.
but that's
Just, like,
different though. I
wanting
think,
to
yeah, for
have
sure,
that knowledge.
for sure. But that shouldn't be something we should push on folks. Like
No,
if there's
true,
an
true,
interest,
true.
if there's an interest to enjoy,
But it would never be an interest
but-
though.
Yes, there would.
How? Why
If
would you
I'm,
want to know
if I'm listening to,
what's going on in
if I'm
Namibia?
listening to a Tyler song,
Okay.
right, and I really like water, it makes sense to Google South Africa and see what that's all about. I'm just saying.
That's a crazy thought process. I see what you're saying.
No, I'm just saying, like in general,
Okay,
it's like
example,
that's what
right.
an interest is. Like if I hear Detty December a lot on TikTok and I'm like, what's this Detty
What is
December
this?
thing?
Right.
And I Google and it's like Ghana, Nigeria. Oh my God, I should visit Nigeria. It's the same way when I'm planning trips, right? My bias is I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait for Europe summer. I will lie. Never said I want to go to Namibia or I want to go to a safari.
Why not?
I'm just
Okay,
telling
you've
you,
never,
my
right.
bias is like I've never said that.
Okay. So
My goal is like, oh, I want to go to like Singapore. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Tokyo.
Right.
But I'll never say, oh, I want to go visit Morocco. This is my bias.
okay, this is yours.
Only
Am I
because
too loud? Because, and I'll say
Say,
this.
yeah.
I think if you don't, like, you need to know about the countries. Like, you need to be able to mention
Absolutely.
at least 90% of the 57 countries in Africa. You need
Absolutely.
to know what each country.
Can you mention 57 countries?
I can mention 50. Should we go?
No, I can't mention 10.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh wait, let's try. Let's actually do it. Wait. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. Pull up an Africa map. Let me try. Oh my God, this one. Okay,
Okay.
Um,
Can you mention?
let me try 10.
Okay.
Fudge.
10 African countries.
Okay. Please don't unsubscribe.
Don't.
Kenya,
1.
Egypt, Libya, South Africa,
Mm-hmm.
Tanzania, Togo, Benin, Senegal, Madagascar, Nigeria, Ghana,
That's 10.
Ghana, Equatorial
Ethiopia,
Guinea, Ethiopia,
Namibia,
Eritrea,
Botswana.
Namibia, Sierra Leone. My friend is
Botswana.
doing- I'm still counting.
Yeah,
Jesus.
you're like at 15. Keep
Oh, okay.
going. Tunisia, Morocco.
No, but I'm saying every time Morocco. Why you correct? I'm still going. Don't
I'm
like
not correcting you, I'm just
you're
adding.
Oh, okay.
Sudan,
Sudan, South Sudan, Congo.
Congo.
Oh, this I know.
Cameroon,
Cameroon.
Ivory Coast,
Ivory Coast. Okay, yeah, no.
Cape Verde.
Okay. I can
Yeah,
say. I can
that's
say
what I'm
it's good. I
saying,
can say
right?
it's
It's
good,
like, and that's what's exciting. And these are like, we have over 1 billion people in Africa, right?
yes.
We have over 20 million people in
Nigeria alone, yeah.
We have like millions of people in Ghana. I'm
Yeah,
not
but
sure how
also,
many.
but I also think, isn't it also up to our tourist boards to push for that?
Yes.
But also, again, pause.
I have another example.
Pause. I want to say something first.
Before I forget.
Where it says.
Wait, hold your own.
I'll forget.
I was listening to this podcast, like
Okay.
Trevor's podcast,
Okay,
and he was
Trevor.
interviewing
We
a
love Trevor
guy,
Noah.
and the guy talked about like going to Senegal for the first time
Yeah.
and seeing black people surf. He said his mind could not comprehend
The fact that
like black people could surf.
Yeah.
And do these are things that like,
Pause. Also, are we thinking 10, 20 years in advance versus having our these countries focus on infrastructure, on tourism, or accessibility or comfort. Because imagine folks in Nigeria right now, you're telling me, oh, the government wants to now spend X, Y, and Z billion amount of money to invest in like catering for the world to be coming in when they've not even satisfied the people who are already there.
No, but that's how they satisfy the people, right? Because
they're bringing in
the
like
dollars,
creating jobs
there are
and
countries
stuff.
who don't have,
but
like the Bahamas.
Again, I think when you think about like what we're exporting out, we're still at the stage in this country. Again, African countries are so young, and they're so young in the terms of like the countries and the lines that they're. Why are you smiling?
Because you're being nice with it.
I'm not being nice.
No, you're being nice.
I'm not being
She says Africa is so young.
It's so. I think we project so much of like what we think the Western world is, and we're comparing that to where we are now. I don't think that's fair. I think where we are now in my head, right? Like I see the passion from even creatives, from people folks who have been exported out of the continent to the diaspora in different places, and you see the exodus now, people wanting to go back.
Yeah.
We're just at that pinnacle start. Year 30 to year 100 for these countries is what's pivotal. Having the youth that are going, like the folks who are in Canada right now, all the Nigerians in Canada, I wonder what it will look like when they're older and their kids are now saying, we want to go back home. Or they're even saying, we've done what we want, we've gotten all the money, let's go back home and let's fix it up, right? I don't know if that's even gonna happen. But I'm like, we're doing all these things when even America used to export their folks to travel out, to come back. Or Oman. Do you know how many Omani students are in universities in America right now who are all studying, and then the moment they're done,
they go back.
They go back home. However, that's also from the government, right? Because the Omani government is literally saying, we're going to get you to these places, you're going to study, and you're going to go back and you're going to pour into the countries. I wish I could, because like, y'all see the news in America where they're like, oh, this is the smartest person, and the name is, and it's like an African name, or it's like a black person, like Amanda Gorman, the black poet, like laureate, right? Like having her go back and create a school somewhere where it's about like art, and the time is coming. The time is coming. I don't want us to feel defeated by it, because the time is coming. I'm so passionate about that. I think we tend to be in the cycle of we're complaining because I live in New York, and I'm like, I see where New York is. But New York 50 years ago wasn't even this, right? Like, give us time to grow. And hopefully, as we're growing now, we're also realizing that we need to not allow the world constantly take from us. We need to still reserve for ourselves. Because the time will come when Africa is ready to take over, and the world wouldn't be ready. Because when zombies come, they're going to the West first. Okay. Because all the movies I've seen, says that.
Add on that.
Oh my God, Donald.
Because education is so important.
It is. Right? It is really important.
It's like when we were at the MasterCard Foundation.
Yes.
Remember what they talked about?
Yeah.
You educate women from like primary school to secondary school. You eradicate 50% from 4,400 women having AIDS every day to 2,200. Yeah. It's education. All these things you're talking about.
It's education.
The investment, the money, right? Aside from the Africans who understand the hurt.
But do you think that's where Detty December comes in now? Because like the money that's going in there is going to clubs to continue to put money into. Let me give you an
example. There are Black Americans in America who are magnets, who have money, resources. They understand business. They're educated.
But why should they put their money in Africa?
Why?
Why?
Because the returns, the potential.
Who's going to tell them where the potential is?
That's why the education comes. This is what I'm saying.
But who's going to? Why
does Tim Cook get to benefit from Congo, right?
But no Black American.
Exactly.
But the thing, Again, I think it's all about timing, and it's all about conversations, right? I know, like, I don't know if by the time this episode comes out, it's been announced already, but I know there's conversations now with, like, Steve Harvey to create something in Africa. Like, it's an Akon, Chris Brown, like, all these people are coming in. Chris Brown's not the best example of that. I think it's a perspective shift. And, like, there will come a time, right, when we will feel connected. And honestly, there will come a time where maybe we'll even feel farther apart from each other. And I think that's okay. Right. I think it's slow. It's slow. And it makes sense because what's been put in our heads for years has been you're in competition, this person versus this person. And then the American system itself is so complex that to pick someone who was born and raised in LA and tell the person, it's a Black person, that, oh, you really should go to Nigeria because that's where your ancestors were from, feels far-fetched. Like, because that's also telling someone to start over. When, as an international student, when you're, like, this is an example for me personally, think about it, even you, Donald, like, if someone tells you, go to Canada because America isn't working out for you to get a visa or your green card. You have to start over in Canada. That alone is overwhelming because you just want to stay in what you know, right? So we as Africans tend to have this very audacious, arrogant way of saying you should come back home because this is where you started from. We don't give empathy to the fact that that is the scariest thing to do, is to look and say, I don't belong somewhere, I need to find where I belong. And there's not even space to figure that out. Like, we're not even given resources to figure that out. You're just telling folks to just come back. That's what she talks about when she's saying, like, there's no infrastructure there. Probably wasn't worded right, probably didn't say it right, probably shouldn't even be saying it out loud in that way. But like, yeah, it's like, but like folks are interested, and it's like gonna be a long process to get there, but I think there is huge opportunity for it when the time comes.
And it is getting better, right? Because if you look at 2016 to now, there are a lot more conversations happening, right, about it. A lot more people, over 1 million people in 2019. I don't even want to know what those numbers even look like right now. So like things are better. Also, the economy in those countries are also worse. But one thing I know is like bad times come before great times.
I'm telling you, I'm like, maybe I just feel overly encouraged, overly excited, but in 2050, I feel like I see a different Nigeria. I see a different Ghana. It just has to happen.
It would suck if it wasn't that.
The minds coming out of the continent are absolutely incredible. Insane. And the older people who are in power will die at some point. And once they die, hopefully the folks who are left actually realize it's time for radical change, and it's going to happen. And I can't wait for that. I wonder what December will look like in 10 years, in 20 years. Like, when we see folks, Gen Z and Gen Alpha here talking about going back home, learning the language, like, there are apps now teaching folks Igbo and Yoruba and Twi. Like, Africa is becoming modern, and hopefully and thankfully not Western, but modern, right? And there's still this idea of protecting what that culture is. I'm excited for it. There's subsets of people who are interested in still modernizing whatever is exporting out of the continent, and that's okay. Like, we're gonna get there. Give us till year 100.
Africa is becoming modern, not Western.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I think that's the end of it. If you're going to be going to December this year, enjoy Ghana, enjoy Nigeria, enjoy Senegal, Sierra Leone, enjoy Namibia, South Africa, all of the places you might be going to. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also just thank you for listening. This was a really interesting episode. I think it went all over the place, but I think if you listen to Am I Too Loud, we tend to go all over the place a lot here. I love you so, so much, and I will see you in my next episode. Mwah! Bye, guys.